Alright, some absolute disastrous news. Just kidding. I tore my calf running this morning, and while it was super frustrating at the time, I guess it's going to be a good opportunity to produce a little bit of self-rehab content and show you the process of rehabbing this calf. So what happened? I was running 2-minute intervals this morning, so reasonably quick, definitely not a sprint, but it's like up there in the high intensity running category. I had done 3 2-minute efforts already, and I was halfway into my fourth one. I had 7 of them planned. And then during this run, I felt that lateral calf, so the outside of my lower right calf, just start to tighten up a little bit. And it was one of those things where I was like, you know what, this feels a little bit tight, but I could probably run it out, but I'm just not sure. So I'll just go a little bit more and see how it responds. And probably 10 more steps that definitely told me that I should not keep going. It just locked up. My running quickly came to a halt and was a very, very ginger walk, and it was super uncomfortable. So in that moment, I was very frustrated, mainly because I couldn't finish my training session and I was at the furthest point away from my house and I had to turn around and start walking back. So that was annoying. I ended up having to ring my fiance and say, hey, can you come and pick me up because I can't walk home. The thing is, when I did start that limping process a little bit, it was really uncomfortable. I tried to walk a little bit more. It was slow. It was very altered in terms of gait pattern, but the more I walked, the more it started to loosen up a little bit and allow me to walk freely. And then it got to the point where I could almost walk like normally again. And when I got to that point, I was like, maybe it did just lock up on me. Now that I've walked it out a little bit, it's loosened up a bit. So I'll stupidly just try a little jog and see if I could jog home, because jogging home will be probably quicker than me having to get my fiance to come and get me or just walking home. So I tried this jog. After about 2 steps, my body said, nah, we're not doing that. And it just locked straight back up again. And my free walk had once again become a very painful limp. So what now? The first thing, we're currently on day 0. The first thing is not to panic too much, because in the grand scheme of things, it's not that drastic of an injury. It is going to cost me probably 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks of like training time, like proper training time. But the good thing is I'm still going to be able to modify training and work really hard in other domains. So I've got a really good left leg. My quad and my hammy work fine on my right leg. My hips are working fine. My trunk works fine. I got 2 arms, so they're all going to work fine. I can do other stuff. It'll be okay. The biggest thing that people have with acute injuries like this is that they often fail to accept that it's actually happened, and that they just don't want to admit that their training is going to be a little bit interrupted for a while. And then they try to just push on through and carry on like normal, or they just give up completely. So the thing I'll be doing is making sure that I modify training appropriately. I still want to get a stimulus in. It's just going to have to be stuff that doesn't irritate my calf at the moment. So what am I going to do specifically for the calf? For the next few days, probably nothing. I can still walk, so I don't need to go and start doing a bunch of calf raises. I think the walking load is going to be enough for it. I don't want to do things that are going to potentially overload it further and slow down that healing process. And like at the moment, anything that really hurts is going to let me know that I shouldn't be doing that anyway. So just walking is going to be enough for the next few days. We'll definitely be staying away from any heavy or explosive loading. We'll definitely be staying away from running. And then after the next few days, and when I say next few days, we're probably talking like 5 to 7 days, I reckon. And then within that time, I'll probably start some body weight calf raises, because I think I'll be able to tolerate that. But again, it'll be to tolerance. And then once I can start tolerating my body weight calf raises for a few days, we'll start trying to load it up just a little bit. And then from there, based off my own symptoms, it's going to be working slowly back into things like low-level jumps and low-level plyometrics, and light to moderate towards that heavier loaded calf raising exercises, because ultimately I don't want to chase loading on the calf too much. I want to chase more range of motion and just loading it through bigger length, just to try and lengthen out those healing muscle fibers so I can get as much tolerance through full range of motion as possible. Because if all I do is just load my calf raise from the floor, I'll get strong at that, but then as soon as I get into more ankle dorsiflexion, so calf stretch, then that's where the tissue is potentially going to be compromised again. And once I can get through all of these things without my calf bothering me, then we will start integrating more higher intensity stuff. So just increasing the intensity of jumps and plyometrics, higher intensity running, and getting back to things like changes of direction and any other sport specific skills that I'm going to be doing, because I'm going to be playing in our AFL competition again this season. Like I said earlier, it probably is going to cost me 3 to 4 weeks, maybe 5. That's just my estimation, but we'll see how the calf responds. I'll document what I'm doing each day on my shorts, so follow along with me on there, the YouTube shorts. And if you do have any other questions about the rehab, or you've had an experience yourself, post them in the comments below. I'd be keen to see what your experiences with this process are. I have seen a lot of calf strains, and I have strained a calf years ago myself, so hopefully I'll be able to get through this one pretty comfortably. But yeah, training will be modified for the short term, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video where I'm documenting the shorts of my calf rehab.